starter off here. It's free, it turns over good. On the cylinder head here, when you buy these, you want to make sure you get a set with the cover and then the cylinder head together. These are put into a mill and they're cut so these sides match up perfectly with the top cover that goes with it. So you want to make sure you're getting the cover and the head all together as one. You don't want to buy those individually. Yamaha doesn't sell them individually. Alright, the starter's off. We're going to tip this up. We're going to pull that recoil off. This is the pull starter, the recoil. There's 3 10mm bolts. Now if this recoil is good, which this one is, it won't fly apart when you pull it apart. There's a 10mm nut holding it together. If it's bad, if the spring has come undone or there's pieces in here broke, you'll kind of have an explosion when you pull this off. So this recoil is good. Now you got the recoil gear. Yamaha calls it a cup. And that takes a 17mm socket to pull that off. And we'll just pull that off together and we'll actually sell this as a set. Now next we're going to pull, looks like we're going to pull the water pump off of here. So we got an Allen head here. We'll pull this hose off of here. There's a clamp on here you can pull off and then you pull that hose off. And then it's 8mm bolts holding this on. A couple of these don't go all the way through to the stator case. So if you're just wanting to pull the water pump off, you just gotta find the ones that go all the way through. So that's this one. This one goes all the way through. And then this will come off just like that. There's O-rings in here that seal that up, so you want to make sure that O-ring's good. And this one looks good, but you always want to replace an O-ring. Okay, now we're ready to pull this stator cover off. This here, there's a mess of 8mm bolts. So we'll take all these off. Cover on, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 to 13 bolts holding this on. Make sure you get all of them off. Now, this cover is going to have magnetics behind it, so you may have some problems getting it off here. You want to make sure you don't damage any of the areas where it seals when you're pulling it apart. Sometimes what we do is take a hammer and just tap on it. That kind of breaks that seal there, and then a lot of times it'll just pop right off. Now there's a couple gears in here. There's a starter gear, and this touches directly to the starter. And then there's the shaft stayed in here, but this is the starter gear right here, an idler gear. And this is just engaged by the starter. Then here's the stator with the pulser and the wires coming out. And it looks like there's 2 connectors on this one, a 3-pin and a 4-pin. And that stator's off. We'll sell that together. Now you have the flywheel here. You have the starter. There's a one-way gear here. We're going to flip this back and we're going to pull the gear change mechanism off right here. They're 8mm bolts again. 4 of those, and we're going to sell this all together. So we want to keep it together as we pull it apart. If you're putting the motor back together, You want to make sure you take this out together. Same thing, just tap on it and it'll kind of break that seal. And you just kind of walk it out. There's that cover there. That's a gear change right there. And there's the other. That goes down to the shift drum. To pull this gear, you got to take this 10mm bolt off, and then this whole assembly will come off. And we'll sell this all together. A lot of times these wear down and will break, or you'll slam it into gear and they'll break. There's your oil pump here. And your flywheel, you're going to need a special flywheel remover to pull this off.